I went that there. Hello. Okay. Oh no. Horror! The playlist no longer exists for Leadhead. Oh no! Well, that's not good. Let's see here. Can I extract a snapshot of what this looked like? Certainly I can. I suppose it would be easier to find it on the person's channel directly. However, I'm a clever boy and I showed my homework. So that means it should be on the original VOD. Loads I was dropping on the mistress. Hello, in. Let's dive right in. What are you doing today? Because of the stream. Bro, mine. I want some questions. Yeah, what we stop in here. Questions. Talking. Then the oversize. Questions. Watching. It's not on the first one, so personally it should be on this one. A specific. Kind of fucking in the beginning. Talked about it. Played message. Smoke folded crossed arms. Here we go. Good job, Carl. Okay. Snapshot. Post. Clip. Boom. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to 4 because I put Lost Town and a Found Family together. Then it was playing Minecraft and losing my apartment, the Puppy Girl psychoanalysis, holding hands with a cute girl and overcoming generational trauma, and love a video essay. Okay, so let's go from there. Both of these two videos should be short enough that I can pair them together. Well, unfortunately, that list just disappeared. I can make do. See, I'm a smart person, showing my work is useful. Good job, Pascal. Already prognosticating new things with the new Path of Exile 2 launch. Interesting. I am a clever man now, me. When I was young, so I look this up back time for a second.
Minecraft.
Second one. The Puppy Girl. Okay. Retreat. Good here. Good here. Good here. This is fine. Be live on the Twitch side. Correct. Should be fine here. Hey, wake up! It's a call stream. This out. Right. I'll give you all until the end of the song to tune in or something. that's not accurate. No, that's not accurate. Anyways, I just chat. Let us begin this. Music is louder than me. It's entirely possible. Because these microphones have an internal volume set, it is entirely possible that that is the case. So the chat needs to say something if that is the case, since my volume can actually not be accurate to what's being heard on stream. Anywho, I want to test it out with the first segment of the first video.
Minecraft is a game that has meant a lot of different things to me at a lot of different times in my life.
How loud is that? Easiest way is to jack it all the way to fucking high on the volume.
Still remember exactly where I was when I first saw it. I was sitting at my desk in middle school in late 2000.
Because that's loud in my ears. Let's jack it all the way up. It's now at 50% volume.
2009. I would have just turned 11 when one of my friends pulled it up on the class computer. It was just a little web game.
No instant feedback. I just have to check myself.
Discovered this surprising.
I don't know, but I'm not no fucking Asian physician. Yes, that is definitely louder than myself.
Still remember exactly where I was when I first saw it. I was sitting at my...
Definitely louder than me. Instant feedback. Let's have to check myself.
It was just a little web game.
Okay. That was silence you, current Carl. So you can become past Carl so we can get the audio adjusted.
All I really remember was a bunch of players in a laggy multiplayer world full of giant stone pillars and lava.
I don't know, but I'm not no fucking Asian physician. Okay. Close enough.
But it blew my mind. I could build anything I wanted and tell my friends all about it at school the next day. It was magical. At some point, not too long later, survival mode would come out, and the game would be released as a desktop application, and I wouldn't be playing it in a browser anymore. Suddenly, I had my own world. I could work my way up to having tools and little animals and fences, and to this day, I still remember my first Minecraft home. just a little crevice in the side of a mountain that I'd carved out and made my own. It wasn't much, but it was my own little place. It was a sense of liberty at a time in my life where all of my decisions were being made for me by other people. This little home in the mountain, though, it was something that I made for myself. Something that was mine and nobody else's. A whole world where there was no bedtime, no school, no bullies, no rules or orders. It was the first time that I, and so many other kids my age at the time, tasted freedom. Down the road, around age 12 to 14, and some of my viewers might already be familiar with this story, a friend and I managed to scrape together enough money to start our own server, Witchcraft Survival. It was a pretty vanilla server. We had player-owned chests and a simple anti-griefing plugin that would let us roll back individual chunks. If someone was breaking the rules, we'd teleport them to this huge arena we built where they'd fight zombies for our amusement. I remember one time my partner was editing a CFG file for a server plugin, just changing a couple variables in a text document really, when I overheard his dad walk in through the Skype call and yell, "Andrew, are you setting up a virus?" And Andrew got grounded for a month. Other than little hiccups like that though, we actually managed to find some success. We had plenty of active users and donations to keep the server running. I'll never forget the sense of pride in our work that I felt when I'd meet my friend in the cafeteria one day and give him a crisp, clean $100 bill, his cut of the donations. Suddenly, that same sense of freedom I had gotten from this game, that same sense of liberty and control that survival Minecraft gave me when it first came out, was able to extend to the real world. That $100 was no small portion of the costs for my first desktop computer, a computer which I've been gradually upgrading to this very day. We had our own YouTube channel too, The Cheesy Minecraft.
The fucking turnout to the, look at what I've got going now. Crazy. Also, I did not expect the Minecraft was my escape from bedtime, true freedom, and teleportation to a Roman arena for our amusement. People, money, influence, donations to keep my server running. This was the marking point where they became a Discord kitten.
Hey guys, so today I suppose this will be the first of my Redstone series. And yeah, it's Papa Cheese here, obviously. And so we're gonna go over some basic redstone stuff. And to start out here, wait, let's switch this button. Well, what the? Okay, first off, let's switch buttons, because, you know...
I better see Cheesy Minecraft hit 1,000 subs after this video comes out. My friend was Baby Cheese, and I was... Papa Cheese. A lot's changed since then. And I mean, a whole lot has changed since then. Over a decade later, just the other week at the time of writing, my girlfriend and I started our own little LAN server to play together. Turns out Minecraft is just absolutely awesome on the Steam Deck. I can just sit on the porch taking in the natural beauty around me while doing the same thing in-game. Well, the other day I was mining, and after looking up the new optimal Y coordinates to find diamonds after the Cliffs and Caves update, I was just digging away when this one song came on the soundtrack, one of the new ones by Lena Rain, and I just started bawling my eyes out. No, I'm no stranger to crying, but today I want to examine that feeling. Let's see if we can find out why this dumb little block game made me feel such strong emotions completely out of the blue. So, this video is going to be for two types of people. Late-stage millennials like myself who feel like Minecraft has just left them behind, and those of you born just a couple years later who remember Minecraft not as this distant foggy memory from your childhood, but as this thing that's pretty much always been there. Today, you'll get to see how the other half lives. So, right now, as those who follow my Twitter or watch the post-credit updates in these videos will know, my girlfriend and I are going through a very adult situation. We just lost our home because our landlord decided to raise our rent and we couldn't afford the place anymore.
Yes. So, from the playing Minecraft and losing our apartments video, we are now at the point where we are going through the timeline of events. And the way that they communicated in this content specifically starts here at 4 minutes 55 seconds, exclaiming that those aware know we're going through an adult situation. Our landlord raised the rent, and now we're out of a home. With no mention of cheating, no mention of why you're no longer able to pay it, because of the removal of the Jezebel. Transabel? Let's go Transabel. You kicked out because you cheated and folded from guilt. No mention of the open relationship. You would then create, after convincing your then girlfriend, now fiance, we'll open it. And this video predates the other one by how many? Year, November 24th, 2023. I have the timestamp here on the date, right? Do I have the timestamp there? Do I have the timestamp? There's not have the timestamp. I did not copy down the timestamp. So, keeping in line with your desire to be honest, you inherently lie to your audience through the series and only reveal the knowledge as time goes forward, thus collectively succeeding in gaslighting them about the information.
As soon as I finished writing this paragraph, I headed over there to do the last little bit of cleaning before finally saying goodbye to that place and all its memories for good. Between my weird and difficult to document employment status as a YouTuber and the backwards view that a lot of folks in my area have towards people like my girlfriend and I, we didn't really have any luck finding another place to live. And so we've had to trade all of that freedom, privacy, and confidence for a little spot in my childhood bedroom at my parents' house. At least until we can find a landlord who wants our money. This house used to be a home for 1,000 childhood memories for me. Everything from building forts in the woods out of twine and branches to my earliest relationships to starting this channel to falling in love with Minecraft for the first time. Now it's become nothing but a place to settle my accounts and handle my business. My business being to get back out of here as soon as possible. It kind of feels like this Minecraft world came to Charlotte and I at the perfect time. All of the things I mentioned earlier, being young and feeling like you don't have any control over your life, well, her and I are kind of right there again at this moment, just with less homework.
But you had control. You didn't have control over yourself and your sexuality and your desire to be hypersexual to every single person around you. In fact, that was what you admitted in video 2. You admitted that you are hypersexual and that's how you are able to establish control. So as soon as that relationship was opened, all of a sudden, you're all over everybody, despite the fact you probably shouldn't be. And your excuse was, they're okay with it, so it's normal, so I'm going to continue doing it. Curious?
The idea that we keep coming back to, half jokingly, half in earnest, is that Minecraft is letting us live out the wild, unimaginable fantasy of home ownership. Now, this is a very sad situation for us, and I've shed more than my fair share of tears over it. But I don't think that that's entirely, or at least not directly, what those tears were about. I don't really play games for escapism. As many of you will know, the type of games that I like to play are usually the type that make me get really introspective, confront some hard truths about myself and the world, or teach me some sort of lesson that I then apply to my real life. It's just the way that I like to interface with media. Minecraft, though, it's always been pure escapism. That's all it could ever be for me. All of the phases that I've had with Minecraft, all of the times that I was the most engrossed with it, have been times when I was going through some pretty awful stuff. Even if I've done the same old line of progression 100 times and built 100 houses, none of them particularly good or unique, just having something to grind away at for a bit, something to focus on, has done a lot to help me dissociate whenever I needed that the most. These days, about once a year, whenever me and my friends decide we should start a Minecraft world, we all know that it's going to disappear someday, and that we won't do everything we initially wanted to with it. We know that plans will fall through, and we won't all end up being the netherite badasses that we imagined, with perfect automated farms and huge storage warehouses full of cobblestone and diamonds. Hell, to this day, I've never owned a shulker box or used an elytra. But for those couple weeks when we're playing it, it's so easy to just disappear from our responsibilities. We stay up a little bit later than we should. We put off some chores. We all get a little bit less productive, but those breaks from reality have been so important to my mental health at a bunch of different points in my life. This time, though, I couldn't help but face the reality of that petty, fragile escapism. In my time spent on this Minecraft world, a lot of mental bandwidth has just been dedicated to those premonitions of doom. That inescapable feeling that pretty soon, all of this escapism is going to come crashing down, and I'll be...
So, the reason why you felt this doom... click too much. The reason why you felt this doom was because the entire... You're not even telling me the truth right now. Holy shit. Big picture. Lord. Click. Just have a feeling of doom. Because you created a server to escape your cheating. And the reality of discussing it. But you're now fiancé. You're not even being honest in real time on your own honesty series now. So, at the time of this video, everything that we would come to learn comes from video 2 in the car, and then everything else from there being reestablished in video 1. So for all the things that could come from video 3 and video 4, they're just not telling the truth, because they would only reveal the truth here on the one that I believe was titled Honesty. Early impressions of motherhood, honesty, a lost town and a found family, and kind of a medical mystery, and now we're on playing Minecraft and losing my apartment. The most consistent thing that I can see is between all 5 videos, and probably all 6 once we get to Puppet Girl Psychoanalysis, fortunately it's shorter than Minecraft and losing my apartment, you give hints of information that finally gets revealed in Honesty. So, your Honesty series isn't really honesty, it's lying to the face of my audience and psychoanalyzing and also psychopumping them for sympathy, and then finally coming clean. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue now, does it?
Be without a home to call my own, and no amount of escapism will be able to elevate me from those circumstances. It was like I could feel myself being ripped out of the game. It's like falling asleep and dreaming of your own alarm clock. While this was ultimately a feeling that I cooked up inside my own brain, it's one that I could only experience in this way with Minecraft. Every time that I play Minecraft these days, I feel this massive disconnect from the game that I played as a kid. Everyone that I play with seems to know way more about the game than I do, when I'm the one who used to be making the redstone tutorials. Everyone is constantly talking about new mods that I had no idea existed. Everyone but me knows what the story is with these weird new guys in the nether that must have replaced the zombie pigmen at one point. Everyone but me knows the exact measurements to carve out to make an XP farm out of a zombie spawner. Everyone but me knows how to make banners or use armor trims or how to give villagers jobs and level them up. Yeah,
but that's not a big deal, though. That's just you being behind the times with fucking mods in a video game. If that makes you feel like you're left out, that means you have a control problem. Maybe that's a side effect of you living in a place where, quote, They aren't accepting of my worldview. But it's a bit of a cope when you really think about it. So what that means in context could be anything and could also be nothing. I'm gonna get hungry, so I'm gonna order dinner before we get too deep in.
No idea what a totem of undying is or how to get one. I don't know what tridents do. There's some sort of pixie thing that one of my friends had in our last world. Apparently you can make logs that just don't have the white parts on either side. There's just so many game mechanics that I simply have no knowledge of. You'd think that this would be exciting for me. It's so many new possibilities to explore and scenarios to learn about. Maybe that's how I would have seen this stuff back in the day, but now, for whatever reason, I just feel like an old lady when I play this game. I originally quit playing this game regularly right around 1.6, shortly after Horses came out in 2013, over a decade ago. And so there's two different distinct phases of Minecraft for me. All the stuff that I know well, and everything that came after Horses. Unfortunately, the stuff that I know well is now vastly overweighed by the stuff that's totally foreign to me. You see, I'm kind of a simple person when it comes to this game, a cottage-core Minecraft player. And truth be told, the only things that I really care about that's been added to the game in the past decade are the candles, and how mountains are now even taller than they used to be now that the build limit is higher. I just want to have a simple, pretty home where I can live a simple, pretty life. The most important thing for me to have in Minecraft isn't a diamond pickaxe or netherite or whatever. I just want a nice porch with a view and maybe a bee farm. Minecraft is a true sandbox game. I've already gotten like 15 hours in this new world without touching any of the new mechanics. But what I found is that I'm the only one who doesn't care about those things these days. Every time I start a server with my friends, I'm just going about my day, mining away and picking out a different palette of materials to use for my house, when I turn the corner and see one of my friends summoning lightning strikes with a trident, or making some weird new black armor that's apparently even better than diamond, or making these giant centerpieces of pure gold blocks that would give everyone in the area some sort of buff to their mining speed or something. They're making these complicated machines to mass-produce people so that they can be confined and traded with. Everyone is so far above me with their knowledge and techniques in this game. I just feel like I've been completely left in the dust sometimes. So I'm gonna do something that's a bit out of my comfort zone. We're ditching the casual, laid-back fun of the Steam Deck. We're updating Minecraft on my desktop PC for a higher resolution and mouse and keyboard precision. And we're getting serious. I want to see what I've been missing all this time. Maybe there's something to all these advanced mechanics. Maybe it's time I quit living in the past with this game and try to enjoy it for what it's become instead of lamenting on what it used to be. I'll be back in a few days, and hopefully I won't feel like such a boomer by the end of all of this. You know, something that I haven't really talked about yet is that I've never been much of a fan of the adventure side of Minecraft. I feel like every time me and my friends play this game and talk about all the things that have changed since the last time we played, we always end up talking about this subtle shift in the direction that Minecraft is heading in. It used to be a totally open game with very few objectives to speak of. The objectives were basically just get a house, get diamond gear, enchant it, explore another fortress, kill the dragon. Nowadays, there's a lot more goals for the player. Sure, if you really get down to it, that core list of objectives still applies, but now there's so many new things to focus on. Train your villagers to have better trade, set up farms for 100 different types of animals and materials, destroy the Elder Gardens and the Ocean Monuments, defeat the Wither, collect netherite, and all sorts of other armor trims from various structures around the world.
Yeah, it's called content bloat. You're not really seeing anything right now.
Explore Woodland Mansion in order to find a Totem of the Undying. Yeah, I did have to look at most of that stuff on the wiki. Sure, all of this stuff is optional, but its presence does, undeniably, bring the focus away from the core mechanics of Minecraft. Suddenly, the presentation of your house is a bit less important. It reminds me of when I started playing guitar. I thought I was hot because I could play a couple really tricky songs. Then, eventually, I got on the internet and was flooded with thousands of videos of people doing things with a guitar that I couldn't even understand or comprehend. Just knowing that
I went on the internet to prove that I could play Wonderwall, and then I saw the guy playing Master of None. I shuddered at the trans girl who was being able to hit every single note in Dragon Force. Every single time I realized that I was unskilled. It sounds like you've got penis envy. Talent and penis envy. Why are you comparing yourself to other people? Why? Would that not make all of the things you already have as a hardship worse for you? If you're always comparing yourself to the standard of what you're missing and what you're missing out on, the game is designed for you to have fun. There is no competitive ranked guitaring. Unless, of course, you're talking about actual performing artists, then I guess that is a ranked system. If you were to confuse the topics of Minecraft and League of Legends, it would honestly be no different. And even then, as an experienced player, I would then turn around and say, what the fuck are you worried about the goddamn ranked system for? You're not even at account level 30 yet. She keeps going on, looping about everyone else knows more than her. She feels out of her depth. She feels completely lost with all the people who have more shit than her. And it just doesn't track. Also, I've neglected to make the VsChat space. Kappa. It's loud as fuck, bro. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah, wah. It's making me log in. Again. Trying to get this done as soon as possible because it always has to do this, but I have to fucking sync the goddamn login again. So fun, so cool, so fun. Hold on, it's almost over. I wish I could mute that song while inside that menu without having to go into the goddamn speaker app system. I also wish they would stop giving me fucking confirmations for the goddamn ability to go into my own backstage that I was just inside of, for them to hit me with a Google, is this really you? We're gonna need to confirm. Because they always make you have to use your cell phone. Anyways, the stage is open now. Always comparing themselves to other people. There's no way that that's not penis envy. Video volume up.
That these crazy mechanics are out there in Minecraft makes it a little bit harder to feel pride when I look at my little cabin or my sheep pen. The funny thing is that this has nothing to do with Minecraft itself. I'm sure 99% of this content has been a fantastic addition to the game. This feeling that I have really is just a symptom of the mass adoption of the internet. It's something I feel in a lot of games that I used to think I was good at these days. Anyways, what this all boils down to is that I've never really loved the adventure side of Minecraft. I don't really want to risk all of this nice equipment I've spent so long gathering. It gets really, really old when you just want to quit concentrating for a moment and suddenly you're plummeting into lava after spending 30 minutes slowly, cautiously navigating your way through a nether fortress to get blaze rods. Part of me would much rather have simply remained ignorant of the larger world and mechanics of Minecraft, so that I could just enjoy a nice, peaceful life on my farm. However, I held up my end of the bargain. I spent all of yesterday just grinding away at some of the more difficult, hostile corners of Minecraft's world, as if trying to prove something to myself. I'm really, really far out of my comfort zone with this. I probably killed the Ender Dragon like twice ever, and all of that was over a decade ago. That said, I remember the ending to Minecraft being really weird. I don't exactly remember what it is. It's these two characters talking about the nature of your journey, and damn it, I'm dedicated to figuring out what, or at least remembering what that was all about, and experiencing it for myself again. Maybe even for the last time. So after working with my girlfriend to get our cleric up to a high enough level to sell ender pearls, after mining for hours and hours to get us both full diamond sets of armor, and grinding away at our XP farm to get enough levels to start doing some serious enchanting, we set out, hopefully for the last time, to the nether. We'd already built a bridge to this fortress, but every time we tried plundering it, we wound up falling into lava or something on our way back and losing all of our spoils.
That sounds like a skill issue. Why didn't you just create a lava platform as a safety net to catch yourself anytime you fell down any of the pathways that you were in? Slowly navigating them, using the crouch tool so that you don't fall off the edges. Fill in the gaps of the floor that's missing. Use featherfall plus levitation. Boats. There are lots of tools you could have used to keep yourself alive.
This time, though, it would be different. This time, we brought a diamond and an ender pearl and some obsidian so that once we got a blaze rod, we could quickly craft an ender chest and stuff all of our valuables into a pocket dimension where no death could claim it. Well, we actually managed to get home safely this time. We didn't even need the ender chest at all. Turns out the best solution was to grind out about 1,000 iron and a few dozen gold and make a minecart system so that we could ride our path to the nether fortress without any fear of getting knocked off the edge by a gigapig, or whatever those things are called.
A Mao.
Go figure. All that was left to do, though, all that remained before I could prove to myself that you can still teach an old dog new tricks, was to follow the eyes of Ender we crafted with the blaze rods until eventually we reached the stronghold, and we're ready to face the Ender Dragon. This was actually one of the more fun parts of the game for me. Charlotte and I were kitted out to the nines with full diamond everything. I had an infinity flame bow, so anytime we needed food, I could just snipe some animal and get fully cooked meat immediately, like in Breath of the Wild. We were strong enough that nothing in the overworld could serve as a huge threat. I even had feather falling on my boots just to make traveling a bit less thought-intensive. Following the Eyes of Ender has always been a special part of Minecraft for me. Even though it's something that I've only done a couple times before, the anticipation of getting to the portal and finally achieving the goal is awesome.
So what we're understanding here, Leadhead, is that you definitely need to keep your ass out of competitive video games because you are a cozy player. I have talked so much about this archetype of player, and I feel somewhat alleviated and also vindicated that the exact words were spoken as I described them before. However, on the other side of things, Jesus fucking Christ, adventure to you in a video game is so goddamn scary. And yet compare what you do in a video game compared to what you do for fun sexually in life. It's like night and day, chat. Ah, I don't know about this new technique of redstone. Ah, change scares me. Ah. Meanwhile, in the back room, yeah, get in there. Working that ditty lube. I'd say no notes, but obviously, notes.
But more than that, it's just you and whoever your partners are traveling this world together. You get to see all of these different biomes that were hiding just behind the fog, just outside of render distance, and at the end of your journey, reflect on how life could have been different if you decided to set up your bases in one of those other biomes that, after spending so much time on your own, feel exotic and mysterious. It's super cool, and honestly, it makes me want to start up a whole new world right after this one, just to explore those possibilities. Even if each biome is essentially just a different backdrop for the same story, your home in Minecraft is something that's super personal to you. It's something you really own. We drew nearer and nearer to the end until, eventually... I'll be so honest, the road to this place sucked for the most part. It was a whole lot of mindless farming. Farming XP, farming diamonds, farming chickens for arrows. Then it was a whole lot of anxiety, just crossing my fingers knowing full well that I could easily lose everything I had worked for at a moment's notice if I just stood at the wrong place at the wrong time and fell to my death in the lava below. All it would take is one gas fireball to destroy the bridge, and myself, and all my equipment with it. It just wasn't really for me. Minecraft is at its best for me when I'm making my own story, not following a specific path that's been walked a million times by a million other players. I just want to fish, goddammit. But as I stood there, looking up at the dragon, seeing the shimmer of my sword in my hands, I couldn't help but feel a little bit prideful. I didn't think that I was having that much fun in the moment when I was doing all that grinding, but looking back on it from here, it's hard for me to not enjoy all of those memories. I really didn't think I had it in me. I know this sounds conceited as hell, I'm only 25 years old after all, but I really thought that my days of exploring the end were so far behind me. Like, I was just too old to be able to be swept up in an experience so basic for as long as it takes to get here.
You're pulling a very significant level 5 Snoot Carl right now, Leadhead. We're going to need you to take that 10, bring yourself down to a 2. Because holy shit, just play on the fucking creative mode. I would love to joke and say, haha, baby game, you can't even play a baby game. You don't like playing on the same path other players have tread? Imagine how many other people have had the exact same thought as you playing fucking Minecraft. Then consider how many of those players, when they felt that, just said, I'm gonna stick another mod on it. I'm gonna stick another mod on it. I'm gonna stick another mod on it. How many video games that have the, quote, single-player experience, the players just modulate all of it to filth? Skyrim, and Minecraft, and various Fallouts starting from 3 and 4, because you rarely ever see them ever play the Interplay 1 and 2s. Baldur's Gate 3, and Starfield, and Mass Effect 1 through 3, and Cyberpunk 2077, and every other game that could be modded and has the potential to be modded. Even games that are multiplayer online, because they wanted to change what their skin that they're actively using looks like. You trivialize the most basic concepts of existence because you want to be different than everybody else. And I don't think it's based out of, well, I'm just bored playing games that have structure. I want something unstructured. If I gave you Forager, if I gave you a game that's all about building and loot generation and puzzles, you would find that game boring. Not because, oh, I don't want to have to do work. I just want to have free form. As much as I could give you something like Valheim, you would be upset because someone gave you structure. Something other than penile structure. Like, half the fun in games is the journey you give yourself while you make it. You would seem like you would be upset with any video game anyone gave you ever at any point in time. Doubly so if it gave you a operant goal, but gave you the freedom to do what you want. You would be bored with the tedium, then you'd be annoyed with the potential. Because Lord forbid you be given the potential and structure, then you're super upset. Got nothing better to do for yourself. Mad as hell. And why? Because everybody else around you knows about a particular mechanic that you don't care about? You better become like horror and be like, you know what? I don't care about that. I'm going to do what I want. It'd be better for you. I can respect that position. Here I am over in my fucking scientist lab, figuring out the end steps that I need for a skill so I can do something in Wilds. I look over to her and say, hey, Horror, look at the shit I'm coming up with. She's like, that's nice, Carl. Where's my crowns? I need my crowns! Two types of people. Both of them entertained by the same video game and the game loops they gave for themselves. You, over there, I just want to dress up like Lala Barina in a wedding dress, bro. I noticed. You're finding them quickly now. What's the point of fucking people like this? Goddamn.
Truth be told, I felt like a kid again, and I was ready to finish this, so that I could resume my apartment hunt, finish this video, and get back to being an adult.
The fun part about this is it says, I'm sorry this montage sucks. I had a perfect song for it, but false content ID ruined it. So, multiple times when I make videos or I make streams, there are things that I know inside of them that if I were to use them, it would end up getting it claimed, and I'd push through that shit anyways. Because showing you something, for me, matters more than claiming money on it. However, they care more about optimizing their gain of money for their content on their channel than they do simply being able to have fun making shit for the people who are there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
You know, analyzing poems like the one at the end of Minecraft is really tricky. It doesn't lend itself to video essays super well. I can assume that you all have this poem memorized and just...
I didn't do that.
Poems like the one at the end of Minecraft is really tricky. It doesn't lend itself to video essays super well. I can assume that you all have this poem memorized and just jump...
Hey, Leadhead. Hey, Leadhead. Can you focus on editing your video and making sure that you don't have a fuck up in your goddamn final product?
around to the parts that feel the most important, skipping over lots of context a less familiar viewer wouldn't be aware of. Or I could go line by line explaining everything, but that's essentially just rewriting the poem in a more...
I love not being able to hear the bullshit they're talking about! Don't you love it, chat? I love it! Don't you love it? Professional video essays, by the way! So worried and concerned over what was fucked up by Content ID, but can't fucking remember, maybe I shouldn't drag this song track all the way to the end. People pay money for this! They pay money for this! Ah! Ah! Listen to it! Listen to it! Listen to it!
Instead, I'm just going to sum things up. These words were written about games that I remember playing when I was younger. But like squids, charcoal, or hair to a stick, this poem feels...
Oh my god, it's so bad! How long does this go on for?
more like a relic of the past than something that has much relevance or bearing at all towards Minecraft as it is today. Basically, the idea of the poem is that we all shape our own experiences in life. We choose to partake in certain perspectives or activities, experiences, and each of these things serve as ways of filtering the truth of reality into something more palatable for us. That truth of reality would be that we're all one. All the atoms in you and all the atoms in every star are cousins. Essentially, the universe is just one consciousness.
Mind you, I am absorbing what she's saying. She's talking about how the poem is supposed to be about how you shape your own experiences and your own journey. However, I'm just flabbergasted by this massive, major mistake that's been allowed to stay up for over a year. 187 unique views of people watched this video. Now, the fun part is that their answer and solution for this was to just post a dissertation of the transcript from the section. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. No problem, Desert Girl. Don't feel bad. Go have fun with that. Go have fun with your niece. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, chat. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Pew! God, I'm so sorry about the audio issue at 22 minutes starting. I was dealing with copyright stuff for 3 days surrounding that song and did the final edit like 5 minutes before Thanksgiving dinner when the video was already a couple days late. I can try to fix it with YouTube editing, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Thanks for all the kind words. In the meantime, here's a transcript for that section. Instead of just taking the video down, republishing the section, dealing whatever copyright they had to, and fixing the final project, slap a man on that bitch. Yeah, this is deserving of the money that they make on Patreon. Yeah. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. Absolutely beside myself. I'm sick. This is considered acceptable. As a final product, that is considered acceptable. I'm sick.
It's experiencing itself from an infinite number of subjective perspectives. So, what does any of that do about Minecraft?
It just keeps going. Okay. So, I'm just going to read the section, because I'm not going to torture you all like that. I've had my fun making fun of it. Let's read the transcript. Fans making me hot. You know, analyzing poems, like the one at the end of Minecraft, really doesn't lend itself to video essays very well. I assume that you all have this poem memorized and just jump around to the parts that feel the most important, skipping over lots of context that a less familiar viewer wouldn't be aware of. Or I could go line by line explaining everything, essentially rewriting the poem to a more boring, less thought-provoking way, dumbing it down. Instead, I'm going to sum things up. These words were written about the game when I remember playing back when I was younger. Like squids, charcoal, or carrots on a stick, this poem feels more like a relic of the past and something that has much relevance or bearing towards Minecraft as it is today. Basically, the idea of the poem is that we all shape our own experiences in life. We choose to partake in certain perspective, activities, experiences, and each of these things serve as a way of filtering the truth of reality into something more palatable to us. That truth of reality be that we're all one, all the atoms in you, and all the atoms in every star are all cousins. Essentially, we're all one consciousness experiencing itself in an infinite number of subjective perceptions. So, what's that got to do with Minecraft? Well, a lot, actually. Minecraft, likewise, is a single game experiencing itself subjectively from, let's see here, 200 million perspectives, Jesus, and those perspectives, us, Minecraft players, individually, well, we're a part of Minecraft too. Our experiences shape how other people see the game, our mods shape the game much more literally, and our feedback is integrated into the game time and time again. Minecraft is less a game and more an infinite series of memories that a community of a couple hundred million have built up. Minecraft wouldn't exist without us. Without a player base, Minecraft would just be code of or a unrecognizably simple game sitting on Notch's computer, slowly depreciating. The big idea that sticks out to me here is kind of depressing for me. Minecraft has become a game that I can hardly recognize anymore. When I play it, it no longer feels like a world that was made up just for me. It doesn't fulfill that particular fantasy anymore. It doesn't feel like escapism to me anymore. I know that my perspective, all the mechanics and concepts that I value about Minecraft are still a part of the game. I'll copy this into the thing. I'm still part of this universe to speak in the poem's terms, but like this poem, my perspective on Minecraft has become a much smaller part than it used to be. Nowadays, a new generation's perspective on this game has become the driving force behind the game's direction. Minecraft is a universe that I'm part of, sure, but it's a universe that's kind of moved on from me. In real life, I'm just 25 years old. In Minecraft, I'm ancient. Nothing but a holdover from the previous generation. Way to be a fucking Debbie Downer about yourself, Broseph. Bro Hemily. Bro Stephanie.
Like this poem direction. In Minecraft poem, though, people like me are the reason that they're still in the game. Nowadays, though, Minecraft is being shaped by a generator from a previous generation. In Minecraft, we shape the world, and we shape Minecraft. Nowadays, though, Minecraft is being shaped by a generation that I relate less and less to. Stuff like the end poem, though, people like me are the reason that they're still in the game. That's our influence on the universe of Minecraft. Anyways, the dragon was dead. We saw the ending. All that was left to do was to achieve something that I've never managed before. I wanted to get an elytra and shulker boxes and become more powerful than anything you could possibly do in the old Minecraft. So my girlfriend and I went back into the end to see what we would find now that the dragon was dead. Damn it, I cried here again. In spite of being the go-to place for items that totally differentiate this game from old-school Minecraft, I can't help but feel like the end is an entire dimension dedicated to us older players. The people who, completely unjustifiably, feel like they simply lose something every time new content is added to this game. I can't really describe it, but the end feels like a faded memory of all my childhood Minecraft homes. It's like how I remember my parents' home, which I'm now living in again, for the time being at least. Living here as a child felt magical to me. I had plenty of woods to explore and forts to build and fun to have. As an adult, though, living here is nothing but a source of shame. It's a mark of my own failures. A place where concentrating on my work is nearly impossible, save for those brief slices of solitude I get in the mornings when nobody else is awake. It's like I can look out from that porch onto the yard and remember all the fun that I had there, but that's all it is, a memory. Just a series of quick little flashing, desaturated images, distorted to obscurity through the warped lens of adult cynicism and shame. Whatever this place once was to me, it's something different now. It's a memory that I can never recapture.
I would say get laid, but we already know what you do sexually, so I don't care about that. Instead, what I will say is, why do you put so much focus on the things of yesteryear? Why do you put so much focus on the game and feeling like because the game is older and has new stuff in it, that inherently means that it's left you behind and that you've outgrown it? Games are that. They are games. They are integers. They are primal, eternal integers. If you want to go back and play on an older build of the game, you can just change, manipulate the data, and insert that and get that experience back. Minecraft, because of its modular experience, is something that it exists. If, like for myself, you have a bug that developmentally because of my build and the particular brand of Windows that I'm running just makes me unable to play fucking Minecraft, you could play a different fucking game. There are thousands of cozy games literally designed for trans women like you, if not for women like you, if not for people like you. Why are you so stuck on Minecraft? Probably because it was the only escape you really had from escaping the fact that you cheated on your fucking woman. Like a whore. I think Leadhead definitely needs to go to fucking therapy, and needs to go to therapy soon. Sooner rather than later.
Just like Minecraft. Charlotte unfortunately died on our journey, and I was left all alone in the end, going from island to island, searching not desperately, but out of a sense of obligation for an elytra. Just myself, alone in a void of lost memories of magical worlds, each one so faded as to feel totally foreign to me. That's when the music kicked in. Like the tears that prompted this very video's creation, these tears too were brought on by the soundtrack. As if the game had been reading my mind all this time and was able to perfectly respond to this feeling of longing that the end gave to me, as if Minecraft was aware that it was nothing but a faded memory that I could never recapture, much of the soundtrack of the end is these distorted, broken versions of the original Minecraft soundtrack, the music that scored so much of my childhood. The audio gets caught up in buffer loops, the playback skips, one of the speakers blows out. Take a listen. That, right there, is just fucking tragic to me. It's Minecraft's own little response to everything at the end of time, an album that also made me sob my eyes out with the fear of knowing that everything I've ever valued will someday be totally lost to me. That's what these tears were about. This world that Charlotte and I molded in our image, this adventure that the two of us went on together, this video that I'm currently making documenting the journey. Like everything else in Minecraft, and in life, someday it'll all just be a faded memory. Nothing but raw emotions frozen in digital amber on a Google database and a dying hard drive, never to be felt again. In this empty, near meaningless void, the end, I had nothing but the company of a tragic soundtrack and the Enderman surrounding me, when suddenly I felt a little bit less alone. While the last thing that I want to do in this video is talk about Minecraft's lore, I've sort of headcanoned it that these structures in the end are a kind of representation of all the abandoned Minecraft worlds out there. Every time you create a world, build a place for yourself within it, and eventually abandon and slowly forget about it, all of those memories are transferred here to the end, and they become these structures. So the Endermen then would be the players, the people who put down Minecraft one day and never came back. That's why they pick up blocks and move them around. Sure, there is exactly zero evidence for any of this, but it's just how I feel when I'm in this place, and I can't shake that feeling no matter how much I think about it or write. These Endermen were my peers.
Truthfully, the goal of every Appalachian content creator. They either drift into making content about cryptids or they themselves become a... No, Carl, that's too fucked up. Anyways, she just described what could be written as a horror analog series for Minecraft. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
They too are lost in this endless void of memories, desperately trying to recapture what once was, but unable to through their twisted form. They might have all been players once, just like I used to be, but that part of them is gone, and it becomes more forgotten every single day. Part of me kind of hopes that this home that Charlotte and I have built together ends up here someday too. The memories of one dream get transferred into another dream and the cycle continues. I think I'd like that a lot. Eventually, I linked back up with Charlotte, and we found our bounty. And for the time being, I was done with Minecraft, yet again. These elytra and shulker boxes would trivialize the game to the point that I'd never need to be afraid of anything in this digital world again. But there were still so many things to be afraid of in the real world, and I had to face them, just like the poem told me to. It was time to wake up from this dream and pass on into the next, into another world that I was always destined to make my own. Wish me luck finding another apartment, guys.
And we've gotten to the chapter section, and just checking the back end again.
Hit up on something that might turn into an actual apartment for me. Well, that's not going to be till January, so I'm still going to be working under kind of crappy conditions for the next...
So talking about their conditions.
Taking this much time to the job and doing as much as I could. A lot of just dealing with anxiety and depression.
Literally see them wearing the puppy dog collar.
Sort of making it difficult to maintain those at least the last schedule about it. Something that I'm super proud of right now. But it has been 4.5 minutes now. I need to quit rambling and let you go about your day. I will...
Okay, so they give a life update about how they're going about trying to figure out their place for an apartment. So unlike the other videos where it's just literally been a recontextualizing and an additional thank you, this time they actually gave updates. However, the whole video itself can be writ small as, LOL, I am running away from my cheating scandal. LOL, I'm running away from my cheating scandal. I feel so bad that I'm running away from my cheating scandal. Man, Minecraft is reminding me that I have to go back to the world that I'm trying to escape from to deal with my cheating scandal, as I sit here playing Minecraft with a person that I cheated on. I hate new Minecraft. I hate new Minecraft. I hate all these new things. This is the update police. Update your computer and get the new updates to get the trans B. Play different games, Leadhead. Play different games. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Play different fucking games. I have never heard a cozy player complain about being victimized by time than I have right here in this moment. Pepper Girl Psychoanalysis. I'm out. Just ripping off anything that could possibly come from fucking Nintendo. I swear. Although technically it'd be ripping off, it'd be an homage. And am I any better when I copy box art design? Yes. Yes I am. Because I have to actually think about how I make the shit.
At some point in the last few years, there was this little shift, especially in the queer community, where suddenly you couldn't go 5 minutes on social media without finding somebody calling themselves a puppy girl. A lot of the time, it's just a label attached to a subgroup of kinky people, girls who like to be put in cages or yanked around on a leash. Or, in more safe-for-work circles, cosplayers who want to show off a new weighted tail that they made for their next convention, or furries who have a whole separate persona as a cartoon dog. Then, somewhere in the mix, there are a lot of people who just want somebody to stroke their hair. In the interest of making...
There is a difference between being a furry, putting on an expensive fursuit that is a part of your persona, being a person with a sexualized, hyperactive libido, and just wanting to have a praise kink be fulfilled. You fall into the second category. And trying to splice it in with the third and make it sound like the things that you get on and down to, where you sleep in a dog bed, is just a normal thing that people do. Shame on you. Shame on you. Also, if anybody knows the video game that they're trying to spoof with this frame here, please let me know. I feel like it's a game that I should recognize, but my memory of the Nintendo DS catalog is very fuzzy. This looks like something from the Nintendo DS catalog.
Making sure that nobody can ever predict what my next video is going to be about, that last group is the one that I'm going to be focusing on today. These puppy girls are cultivating a fine balance between self-expression and full-blown dissociation, and I think that it's an incredibly interesting conversation. Turns out, there's a lot more to this whole animal person thing than just a simple kink or a fandom. They're called Therians, people who've found a distinct sense of identity from adopting certain traits from animals, in the same way that some people whom, like myself, are attracted to both men and women but still find that the label lesbian fits them the best. Therians have found that even without a tail or paw pads or a flat nose, ascribing the traits of particular animals to themselves can be a quick and easy shorthand for the personality traits that they want to accentuate.
Nintendogs, thank you.
And thusly, being referred to as that animal is a surefire way to have those traits reaffirmed. It's no secret that I fall into this category. So, as an example, when my girlfriend...
We're gonna watch that again.
As that animal is a surefire way to have those traits reaffirmed. It's no secret that I fall into this category. So, as an example, when...
Bark tutorial after the credits! Take it in. 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 Why is Alex's chat not appearing on my sidebar? Because it's on Twitch. I'm out. Ah, boy. Ah, boy. I can't believe. Actually, I can believe. Bait used to be believable. It used to be believable, chat. No, it's not.
When my girlfriend calls me a good puppy, she isn't just saying, oh, you're cute and small. She's saying that I'm excitable, affectionate, loyal, attention-seeking, curious, and just an overall good companion.
Please keep in mind that this is literally a cummy-wummy bottom boy. So, when they give that explanation for how they feel about those traits being ascribed to them, it's all sexual. It's all I'm not helping. Sexual.
It's her saying that she sees me as the type of person to run into a burning building for her. By extension,
I don't believe you're finna run into a burning fucking bush, let alone a goddamn building. Oh, I'm such a dependable puppy girl. I'm a reliable friend. I'm so reliable, I cheat on my woman with someone because I couldn't fix their depression, bro.
These same sentiments can be channeled into physical sensations by way of head pats and tummy rubs and the like. Her and I have this little thing where if we're holding hands...
You did not just animate.
Extension, these same sentiments can be channeled into physical sensations by way of head pats and tummy rubs and the like.
They edited a fucking cursor on their head to treat themselves like a digital Tamagotchi. Extra does not begin to explain how much that annoys me. On one hand, is it good editing? Does it get you something that grips onto it? On the other hand, because we have learned so much from studying in real time the shit that they're into, this person, for a bit, decided to confound what puppy girl means to them to redefine the word. So they could continue to socially embarrass themselves for attention and money. I want to die. This is not content that I should have been witness to. This is horrible. I feel like my quality of life has gone down because I witnessed that and because I heard that barking. I need to eat my frustrations, but I can't find anything that I like. Terror. Agony. Agony. Terror. Okay. Making sure my ankles aren't locked up. Actually, no. I do want a pillow for comfort. That just... It's like a pain right here in my chest. Just the center of my chest. It's not heartburn. Right back into the shit chat. Right back in.
Her and I have this little thing where if we're holding hands, 3 squeezes translates to I love you. And in the same way, her scratching my head essentially translates to you're super loyal and attentive. I know that all of this sounds incredibly silly, but subconsciously attaching this extra layer of positive reinforcement to a sensation that already feels super nice, like having your hair played with, is an incredibly interesting and potent way of communicating love, if that's the type of dynamic that you share with somebody. In fact, it can be a little bit addictive. See, while there's a lot of positivity wrapped up in this whole dynamic for me, and a ton of other people like me, there are also some potential pitfalls, aspects of this way of self-identifying that can absolutely get in the way of living a fulfilling life. I'm a lot more afraid of fireworks now than I used to be. However, before we get into the danger of puppy girls and the fall of the West and all of that fun stuff, let's talk about how I transformed into this crude mockery of nature's perfection that you see before you today. A bit over a year ago, my girlfriend moved in with me. On that first night, as she was unpacking her bags and showing me all the mementos that she'd brought with her, she pulled out this little necklace with a puppy tag on it. Her ex had given it to her because Puppy was one of his favorite nicknames for her. I immediately put it on because I thought it was cute, and before I knew it, Puppy had become her nickname for me as well. Some people call their partner Princess or Baby Doll, Sweetie. Well, for me it was Puppy, and at the time, that's all that there was to it. Since then, I first developed a taste for tummy rubs. Then
I put on the dog collar, and all of a sudden I like to be scratched behind the ears and the knee. I got nothing. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I'm sorry. This is prime material and I'm drawing blanks because nothing I can say is safe for Twitch. Not a single thing I can just thought up with I can ever be able to rewrite for Twitch. Oh, fuck. Again, bait used to be believable. And I can't believe that this isn't bait. So, like, I put on a dog collar, and all of a sudden, I like to be called a good girl. This is clearly a praise kink. This is clearly a praise kink. This isn't an alternative lifestyle choice where you choose to live a certain way and act a certain way. This isn't a lifestyle choice where, for the fun of it, this is something you do as a form of performative acting for the fun and humor of both yourself and your partner in private to engage in. This is clearly bullshitting around to force, or rather, indirectly, have people involved with your kink in public and trying to make it acceptable that is used in public in a way where you don't have to think about how you and someone else is interacting with that behavior. I like to be scratched behind the ears because I now wear a necklace. So that means that this is completely normal. And if you question me about this, that means you're not accepting of my lifestyle choice. It's some type of shit that I imagine would come out of their goddamn mouth. I cannot accept, for my sanity, that this is somehow an acceptable viewpoint that they've just arrived at. Because since we know the context, again, this is where other videos existing before this in a series of others, makes it very clear that the shit that we learned in Honesty was basically all of this that they were afraid to talk about with vague posting, no longer being vague posted about. Just blatantly, in your mouth. I can't, for the life of me, imagine how this ended up becoming a profitable attack vector for Leadhead to make content for. I cannot imagine that there are people who actually are entertained and are supportive of hearing that content and say, yep, I'm going to throw my money towards them on Patreon. This person and how they behave and how they act, yeah, this is acceptable. Yeah, yeah. I feel like they're in on the joke, and they want to see where this kind of content leads them to. Like, they wrapped themselves around being supported for this like it was a joke until it no longer was a joke, and it just became something they did. Why did she make all of this public? I can imagine if we were to work from the back to the front. Oh, God. Bad choice of words, Carl. If we worked from the back to the front, and at the end, when we get to the last video of the playlist, I would imagine it'd be something more like, well, I just felt like I could be more forthcoming and more expressive with these things, and it's just a part of my journey into being a woman and into motherhood and on all the responsibilities that came with being an adult. Because where this starts from, this particular vibe here, where this starts from is this bullshit tie that they used for Minecraft in the video, where they feel like they're being left behind because of the decisions and the stuff they're making, that they're growing up. And any escapism that they use is used as a context towards them not being involved in the world as they are. And what I'm taking away from this, since we're moving from the front to the back, again, horrible choice of words, is as we go from the most recent video that has now been unlisted to the videos that are still public on the channel, the more we ask ourselves, why did you make this public? She tells us, money! Why did I tell you about the fact I sleep in a dog bed? Money! Why did I tell you about the fact that I'm safe from Hurricane Helene? Money! Why did I tell you about the fact that I cheated on my girlfriend, that I explained that I sleep in a dog bed, and that I'm in a house unit with these people that are now inside of my transgender polycule? Money! At the end of every video, stunting for attention. It's certainly not the only reason, but it's one of the main ideas. Support me. I'm at risk. Support me. I create your favorite stuff. Support me. There's a way to do this without making us victims of your interests. Like, again, for the billionth time, you could not get this shit out of me. Anyone. As a part of your scripted material? You wrote down with the intention to tell people this shit. Just randomly out of nowhere. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Barking tutorial at the end for anyone who's interested. There's tracking with a net. And then there's clear opportunities to get somebody into a cult. And then when they stumble across, it's like, don't you make fun of those people in that transgender cult where they praise their puppy girl queen as a god. That's what they want to do. Why won't you just let people live their lives? Anyways, back to the shit.
I started to prefer my french fries hand-fed. Then I started leaning more on body language and sounds rather than actual language when it came to communicating my physical desires. Whatever, this is all just cute stuff. But at some point along the way, it became easier for me to tune out the conversations of the people around me and instead pay a disproportionate amount of attention to the squirrels and the chipmunks in the yard. Along the way,
that had to be a choice.
It became easier for me to tune out the conversations of the people around me and instead pay a disproportionate amount of attention to the squirrels and the chipmunks in the yard.
Okay. So, now we've crossed into the territory of, even if this is something that's just something that I don't get, something that I don't understand, this is them explicitly saying, no, no, no. As I continued to engage in this, I started to become more like a dog. Animorphs!
I promise I'm still not joking. I started feeling like actual pride in being able to follow incredibly simple commands. I don't mean that I was being facetiously prideful in order to go along with the bit or make myself look cute. I mean that I started to equate that feeling with me being enough. Like, oh, I put my hand on theirs when they said paw to me. That means I didn't disappoint them, and I'm a worthwhile person. I'm proud of that fact. At the worst of times, this whole mindset has made me a little bit worse at saying no in situations where I wish that I had. I'm just endlessly afraid of disappointing people.
Oh, that's very clear. That's one of the few honest things you've said thus far in your videos that pair from video 1 all the way to now. You are desperately terrified of disappointing people. So, why are you so desperate also to give your attention to people the way that you do? And why are you so destined to try and make it all sound like it's a joke? Everything you've said thus far sounds like a joke. And it's hard to take serious.
The fact that this is all, again, a sense of actual pride and not just myself going along with a bit is concerning. I've done a lot of things that I can be proud of in life. I've turned my own imagination, creativity, and motivation into a career that's able to keep myself and the people I care about safe, most of the time at least. I've run this channel for nearly 6 years without ever running out of ideas for longer than a month or two, all while steadily upping my production skills and, in my opinion, my writing skills. Unless, of course, you count a puppy girl video as running out of ideas. I've gone through an absolutely insane amount of personal growth in that same time. I grow into a better and more mature person with each year. I've held my own in a nearly lifelong battle with chronic anxiety and a near decade-long battle with the absolutely crippling long-term effects of a heat stroke, which, to dumb it down to the scope of this video, really messed me up neurologically. I've survived
And they will elaborate this in a future video?
long battle with the absolutely crippling long-term effects of a heat stroke, which, to dumb it down to the scope of this video, really messed me up neurologically.
That's just concern baiting. That's all that is. You know, I find it interesting. People like Leadhead are this introspective, but never seem to be able to take the next step by trying to improve their lives. Because, and this is what I believe, I don't think it's about improving their lives. I think it's about finding a way to streamline the process of giving themselves money. That's my honest belief. I don't think it's about improving their lives, being introspective and being down to earth and accessible as a content creator. I think it's about telling you about a whole bunch of terrifying stuff that you otherwise would not have been concerned about, and creating that involvement of, well, now that I've told you about this thing, you should be worried about me. You don't want to, you don't want to have to think about how I possibly died of heat stroke, do you? You should give me money. You should give me money. But of course, that's the cynic in me. The nigga in me! The nigga in me thinks that this is some bullshit. And they're just making up to make fun of people. They believe they can tell you whatever the fuck they want. They can say anything and you'll believe it. You'll believe it. Who's to say that you wouldn't believe it? They've done so many of these other crazy things. What's to believe that this one time here is the one time that they're lying? So the cynic in me is saying it's all because of money. And then the fucking nigga in me is like, it's all for clout. It's all for attention. It's all for attention. Meanwhile, my rational mind is in the middle like, why can't you just be normal? Or if you're going to be abnormal, why can't you be abnormal away from us? There's a 3% chance that I will end up running into Leadhead in public because they live in the area around where I live. They live in the area of the Appalachian Mountains and the Deep South. If they didn't live in Appalachia, they'd be complaining about how they're going to drop like a body bag living in the inner city. I would probably be living out of a suburb.
I've survived and thrived in spite of so much, and yet, in a certain type of situation, I take more pride in finding my girlfriend's shoes for her than I do in any of that stuff. So, I pay rent. I have 2 to 3 jobs, depending on how you look at it. I've got to buy groceries and manage finances and keep up with all sorts of other responsibilities. That's nothing special.
Bagging groceries. You work as a bagger. Which state? One of the Carolinas. to the right of my state. It's one of the Carolinas. It's in the Helene video. You work as a bagger. You effectively, I guess you could call it a business of being a fucking, I don't know, attention seeker on YouTube. Because when it comes to you people who use Patreon, I look at them the same way I look at the Nebula users. They post their content onto a platform because people don't like their content amongst the wider reach of their audience for people who are posting live on camera. And they only ever post on Nebula so that when they finally put it on YouTube, all of the inner community already has seen it and watched it. It's kind of like the Members First tool before Members First and memberships and channel memberships had been developed on YouTube. That's a very dramatic note, Galaxy Dragon. Do they live in your state? Do they live in your state, Galaxy?
Special. Just about everybody deals with this stuff. But it seems pretty clear to me that all of this puppy business also serves as a vector for dissociation. If I can make myself feel like such a simple creature that being able to shake on command is an accomplishment worthy of pride,
Hi, Ebony.
then suddenly all the bills and finances and jobs feel like they're a million miles away. Suddenly, I'm too simple of a creature to have anxiety attacks. It's therapeutic at times. Everybody needs...
If I pretend that I'm a dog, I don't lose my mind worrying about my bills. I guess that's a form of therapy. It's not sane. Might as well be the same as saying, if I'm a coming mummy bottom girl, I don't have to worry about all those very dangerous things like bills and responsibilities. I can just focus on being a cum dumpster And dogs can definitely have anxiety. Which is surprising. None of this came up when they were talking about this in the honesty video. Not a single bit. Not a single mention about the fact that they like to cosplay as a dog.
Needs a means of escapism, but it's incredibly easy for me to get too comfortable in the dissociation. I get complacent, and my priorities shift from be a good partner, be a good friend, pursue my creative goals and make money, straight to frolic, make silly noises and eat food. As I said, this whole thing can make it a little bit difficult to stay motivated. It's just hard to get out of bed when somebody's cuddling you, and that's all there is to it, really. But there are times when I'm just out of it. I've had a horrible day, I've got $5 in the bank and too little gas in my car to go door dashing for more. On days like that, I just curl up next to my girlfriend and she gives me some attention.
There's some truth here. But Lord knows, especially like earlier when I went outside to go be loved on and go love on Star and Zulian, it is very hard letting go. It is very hard letting go. So there's truth here in this. I just feel that the way that Leadhead's choosing to apply it is not really reflective of the human truth or perverses it. I'm pretty sure she should eat food, but let's listen to this section again for your benefit, struggler.
A horrible day, I've got $5 in the bank and too little gas in my car to go door dashing for more. On days like that, I just curl up next to my girlfriend and she gives me some attention. Each stroke against my hair affirms to me that I'm good enough. It's a type of peace that...
I guess what you heard was each stroke. Each stroke.
Too comfortable in the dissociation. I get complacent, and my priorities shift from be a good partner, be a good friend, pursue my creative goals and make money, straight to frolic, make silly noises and eat food. As I said, this whole thing can make it a little bit difficult to stay motivated. It's just hard to get out of bed when somebody's cuddling you, and that's all there is to it, really. But there are times when I'm just out of it. I've had a horrible day, I've got $5 in the bank and too little gas in my car to go door dashing for more. On days like that, I just curl up next to my girlfriend and she gives me some attention. Each stroke against my hair affirms to me that I'm good enough. It's a type of peace that I don't think I've ever been able to achieve outside of that context. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like my problems can be compartmentalized. Put simply, it helps with the anxiety attacks. That, right there, is why I wear this collar on a daily basis. It's just that slight buffer that I need to make it through the toughest of times.
I can understand that. However, You put that shit on because you said, ooh, pretty. And then said, ever since I've been wearing this dog collar, I've had an aggressive desire to bark at dogs. I find myself hyper-focusing on squirrels in the tree. Squirrel!
It's a mental doghouse that I can retreat to when I feel overwhelmed and need to remember that there will be peace at the end of this day if I can just hold out for a little bit longer. That's what's so fascinating about this whole puppy girl thing to me. That's what made it an interesting enough topic to make this video worthwhile. This particular type of self-expression can paradoxically turn into dissociation incredibly quickly. The two things seem like they would be polar opposites, but in this case they're completely entangled. I am affectionate, loyal, attention-seeking, curious, and attentive. Those are all positive traits of mine that require zero responsibility on my part. But I'm also independent, ambitious, creative. I'm good at breaking down complicated tasks and admitting when I made a mistake.
But here's the thing, Leadhead. All of those things are things that a human can do. If you want to affectionate yourself as a dog, then you have to be able to accept the fact that the things that are active traits and the things that are passive traits are things that you have to focus on. So, in congruence with the video you just posted about how you feel so distant and left behind in Minecraft's slow advancement and content creep, all of those things that are your active traits require you to engage. And as much as you could be a nice little doggy, meant to make your partner feel more comfortable and safe, that you don't want to leave their hand, it also means you have to be hands-on. You don't seem very good at the hands-on part. Anywho.
Those are also positive traits, but maintaining those traits requires a lot of responsibility. And conveniently, all of the positive traits that are accentuated by me barking at people are the ones that I can just sort of passively claim. And all those other traits that elevate me from being a good companion to being a good person also represent the responsibilities that I dissociate from by barking at people. It doesn't feel like it takes any work to be a good puppy, but it takes a lot of work to be a good person, sometimes at least, even if it's work that I'm totally capable of. It's like when I get home from work and take my hat off and put my collar on, I'm saying, alright, I'm done putting effort into my life, time to curl up at the foot of the bed. However, in all 2 or 3 of my jobs, depending on how you look at it, I make my own hours. YouTube, DoorDash, and the third thing, I get to pick when I work and when I don't. And so it sometimes takes a lot of determination and focus to stop myself from being a puppy when I need to be a human.
Consider that they drive up to your place and they're dropping off your food. Consider for the dinner that I've been looking for on DoorDash because I do not have the energy to cook for myself after cooking for her and then doing this. Consider that this drives up to your door and drops off your meal. It still has all the communistic and all the socialistic beliefs, but also was just in the mood of just barking at you and growling at you because the tip on the back end wasn't as big as they think they are deserving for. Imagine that fear, chat. That you literally don't know if they possibly have shat in your food. Terror. Terror. I love food too much. I'm fighting the dog.
It just makes it hard to get shit done when I get too comfortable. And in a few cases, being a good puppy has gotten in the way of being a good person. This has to do with the whole wanting to please people making it difficult for me to say no thing that I mentioned earlier. There was an instance where I didn't say no, when I really should have. And while I've spent a lot of time thinking about that mistake since then, there was this one pivotal moment that turned out to be completely definitive in both my moral recovery from that mistake and my character development as a puppy girl. My girlfriend was sitting alone with me, talking about everything that had happened, and she said the sentence that I'd been wanting her to say for so long. I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong. Like I said, I'd been waiting to hear her say that ever since the moment that I first made that mistake and failed to say no. It made me feel a lot better, like she kind of understood how I wound up in that position, but The more I thought about it, the more I realized the irony in the whole thing. My girlfriend was the one who got me wrapped up in the puppy girl thing. She's the one whose head pats made me realize that this whole thing was something that my psyche...
Beep, 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 beep. A very important thing was just said.
There's the irony in the whole thing. My girlfriend was the one who got me wrapped up in the puppy girl thing.
Every time! My girlfriend is the one that got me, and I'm transliterating puppy girl thing into wrapped up in the fantasy of being subservient. So, unlike Solari, who's 100% going to be putting on a fucking bimbo dress soon, and walking around his house being a bimbo doll in private, because he can't accept the fact that it's cool, call in the air, chat. Are they about to put their blame and their problems of why they have the problem they do on the woman they cheated on? Or are they basically putting all accountability and responsibility onto the partner, saying it wasn't even my idea to decide to act like a puppy girl? It was a joke that you put into, that I played into, and now all of a sudden you got me barking and shit. Call it in the air. Also, which content creators being super bottoms and which is what content creators being super bottoms and subs. Realistically, amongst the left wing, a lot of them are fucking overly emotional, fucking power bottoms and submissives. I have yet really, outside of like maybe the most rough and tumble of the women demonstrating themselves as being very strong-willed and wanting a strong person. So the fucking communistic women, like Kira chats, they want somebody strong. They want a they want a soft and benevolent patriarch. But they also want a patriarch that can bind them with one hand in their palms and will rail them 6 ways till Sunday. The rest of them? I guess they're all grooming victims. I guess they're all grooming victims. All of them. Either they're groomers or they're victims that end up grooming others. It's looking to be the case. I don't want to say that the girlfriend groomed them, because that's putting a lot of accountability and putting a lot of responsibility on somebody who has the ability to say no. I think that it was, in the moment, they played it up as a joke and got super interested in it. And as cheating developed over time, they became very personally attached to this person they were actively betraying every time they couldn't be able to get them to stop thinking about their anxiety. That slowly started amassing as a form of praise and guilt. I think it was that. The timeline's probably wrong for it to be both, but that's my particular headcanon of how I'm reading this. Because you don't just wake up one day and decide, I am a dog, treat me like a dog. And certainly, if you're going to do that, why take an object that belonged to an ex to then claim it as your own? Because, ooh, shiny. At that point, if that's something you're going to get into, wouldn't you want to get a collar special that's only belonging to you and her? Not you, her, and this person that it came from because it was a collar meant for her that you now accepted as yourself? Or maybe that deepened the connection for them. I don't know. Every way that I could read this, it reads like a kink that's gotten out of control.
she's the one whose head pats made me realize that this whole thing was something that my psyche could benefit from. But by saying, I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong, she was calling me out. I'd leaned way too hard into my dissociation, and I made myself too easy to manipulate. I made myself too capable of saying, it's not my fault, that's just how the animal kingdom is. Sure, I'm generalizing. It's not like I didn't realize that I made that mistake or didn't think it was my fault. It's not even like I didn't own up to the mistakes. But what the puppy-brained side of me did do was make it easy for me to stagnate. It made it easy for me to feel like I didn't need to develop my character anymore, when that's never been the case for anybody. Personal growth is what makes our sentience a superpower, and my theory and bullshit was getting in the way of my personal growth for a while. When she said, I know you're puppy-brained, but you still know right from wrong, that was her challenging me to be better, to not let myself stagnate, to not allow myself to get lost in my dissociations. She wanted me to remember that while she'll always be there to stroke my hair and say that she's proud of me, ultimately it's on me to make sure that I continue in my personal growth. Nowadays, I feel like I've almost completely rid myself of all of that hesitance in personal growth. I feel like for all my flaws and all the things that I need to work on, I've gotten to the point where I'm able to be a responsible, penitent human when I need to be, and a carefree puppy when I'm able to. I'll never be able to say I'm done growing as a person, but now I'm at least able to progress again. My development is resumed. It's something that takes constant effort because the mental doghouse is an extremely comfortable place, but so long as I can maintain that effort and keep myself in check, I'll only ever be in that mental doghouse when I don't have anywhere else that I need to be.
I really love that particular Minecraft clip. Anyways, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. You needed to be called out about being lazy mentally about your decision-making parallax for you to decide, oh, I can now be mature again. My partner called me on my shit, so now I'm no longer incapable of moving forward. And you went from this state here. This video was made 9 months ago. And between 9 months up to current year, in 9 months you became emotionally and mentally mature enough to be a trans mother. There is a post, a very, very popular post that goes around the transgender circles. The way that it goes is, my son turned out completely fine. Sir, your daughter barks on command. And it appears that in the comment section for this video, I am not the only person who's familiar with that post. And this seems to be the proper mental timeline for that particular development. That because Leadhead was then, in the future, allowed to be hypersexual, that made it completely fine. How they just, stopped trying to be responsible for their decision-making and their choices and the consequences from their choices, or lack thereof. Seems very, very silly, if I do say so myself. Very, very fucking silly and very mentally taxing when you really think about it. And I'm just thinking about the shit that you have under yourself. Consider being a person who's going through this, using that as your decision making. It's hard, bro. I can't. I swear, if I was ever to sit down with this person and have them actually be honest about this shit, I bet I could get them to admit, nah, I just wanted to see if people could believe me. Because I feel like that's the answer. Like, there's no way you choose this. You don't choose this. And this isn't like someone learning to be in a relationship for the first time. And, like, they're overwhelmed with decision making. So they have a method that they choose to go through it, that they use as a form of sympathy. This is a person who clearly cannot handle being an adult. So, when adulting becomes too hard, They just regress into being a dog. It's easier to be a dog. I only have to worry about pet tats. Ruff, ruff.
So, to my girlfriend, and to anyone else who might be watching this, I'd just like to say 2 things. Firstly,
They did it again. They did it on purpose again. This is twice that I've been forced to listen to an autistic person be cringe on the internet. My psyche will not recover tonight.
and second friend,
And
to anyone else who might be watching this,
the worst part
I'd just like
is
to
they
say
did the finger.
Firstly,
They literally did
and
the finger.
secondly, and more
I can't. They literally did the ooh woo finger.
importantly, thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow and to be a better person. I promise that I won't waste it. I'm gonna make you all proud. Can't f***ing believe I just made that video.
Oh, I can't believe I just made that video. You marched twice!
Okay, guys. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put the treat. The treat's going inside of the harness. Right here, Cash. Right here. There you go, boy. Okay. Good boy. Nope, baby.
No! I did not just see you say that to me! No! That's not going in my brain! No! You're gonna ruin my appetite! Nope, I'm hungry! Nope! I didn't see that! Nope! I didn't see it! Nope! I'm not even looking at the left side of the screen. Nope, I did not see that question. No. We are just simply going to send our commutual prayers to this dog. And I do not want to have to think about whether or not these people are paying for the inevitable. Nope. My eyes might have seen it, but my brain didn't recognize it. Nope. Not thinking about it. Continuing to the end here. Another car video.
You know how when you're speaking,
Funny, this is not filled with rough ruffs and bark barks.
you can, your exit would be, I'm at the towers, we'll find, verbally thank the patrons, or if all they find is
It actually has a section in the back end for Nintendo dogs.
honesty on my part. Have a good night. Before I close out today's weird-ass video, I would just like to verbally thank the patrons for giving me the opportunity to make weird videos like this, especially the patrons who are donating more than $10 monthly, such as Alex, Allison Dot, almost dead again.
How much do you think she spends on peanut butter? That's almost as bad as what horror just asked me to think about. You people are evil! Evil!
Arda Aurelia, David Burrow, Rosenbaum, Massimo, Thea, Pumpkin, Poof Donut, List of Men, Vega Nelson. Did not go and immediately do this right after the bark tutorial. I slept and now I'm tired and gross looking. So I hope you enjoyed walking my dog. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for.
They didn't even follow through on the bark tutorial. They just showed content of them playing Nintendogs. Bait used to be believable. Okay. Let us now sum where we are now at. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos into the playlist. There are only 2 left. And what we have learned is every single time we keep going further and further away from honesty, the overall takeaway over all the content is that Leadhead, until we approach honesty, is content baiting and fucking lying about a majority of the things that they are involved in, to where all of it comes crashing through with questions none of us asked. And now, reflecting that off of what we would learn inside of early impressions of motherhood, it literally was them using this as a way, because I guess we learn that the other thing that they were doing outside of DoorDash, which I guess is what they consider a form of grocery shopping, because they're bagging up the food and taking it to you, and was OnlyFans. All of this was, I'm working on my time and deciding how I choose to make my content. Therefore, I'm being forced to be an adult, but I really just want to be a cummy woman bottom girl. And also a dog that gets head pats and fucked. I don't want to have to think. I don't want to have to think about the hardship of how things connect. I want to have the ability to fulfill my sexual needs. Like, I don't see anything wrong with how I do this. Why are you overreacting to this information? Alongside all the other shit that they said. All of this, collectively, from posts in the past, moving towards the present, is just a slow ratcheting of how more vulgar and how more explicit they can become with the things that they admit. These ones, compared to the last ones, were tame. What we learned inside of the Helene video and what we've learned inside the follow-up there was not as bad as what we learned in honesty and in early impressions of motherhood. Yet I would say the most annoyingly egregious and on-the-nose shit that we could have gotten, the whole, you're clearly repressing something you're not talking about, came from these two. I'm actually terrified to find out what we find in the back half of the last list. But that's a problem for Carl to deal with next week. What time are we at now? We're at 8:55, so we're actually ending early. Like I had mentioned, we have hit the number for both funding both South of Midnight and Expedition 33. So, we need to decide what game we're going to fund in the future, chat. I'm thinking of opening a poll, giving you guys the chance to just throw whatever ideas in there. We'll probably do it in an entirely separate section, probably in post and announcements. But we'll brainstorm about it inside the server. I'm thinking about posting it to one of the open spaces inside of Casual Caller to Memes. We'll probably throw it in Poop Shoot. People can throw ideas in there, or Community Group Gaming rather. Yeah, I'm feeling CGG more. We'll throw this into. We'll throw the entire discussion into CGG, or we could open it as a thread inside of one of the other places like the Afro Parlor. But since I want this to be able to have more people who are to be reaching in from the beginning, CGG, because that's the one everyone can see. We'll throw the brainstorm about it into CGG, and we will decide from there. The money for both, so far, tentatively, I'm holding the money for South of Midnight. And because that one releases in the back half of April, should I have earned enough for March, that will be there. So I'm going to start pushing really hard towards the end of March to make sure that we fulfill that. If we don't, then I can just pivot and hold the money that I'm holding now. We will figure it out from there. But working up for the next one that I'm going to be forced to do hostage streams for, which means I can't not make content about it. We will figure out how we're going to do that. And then once we have that in line, all Super Chat donations will basically be funded, and all of the payments from YouTube be funded towards that game and that content. So, remember that all of that is made possible by all of you who support the stream and support me. It is all going to a wonderful place, my pockets. However, I'm very hungry. I'm actually starving right now because I took a nap, got back up, had to make dinner, didn't eat anything except for these Rice Krispie treats you just saw me fucking smash on camera. And I need real food. I need a real food. I need a big, thick piece of meat. I need food. So I'm going to go. Whether I cook something or I order something, I will see you all tomorrow. Remember that tomorrow is both Yapin, and during that Yapin, I will be trying the Dare Drop campaign, and then in the evening, we will be having movie nights. Because we're going to be doing all of that in that order, I'm going to probably make that stream last for about 3 to 4 hours. And with this new model that I have for Yapin, I'll reaffirm this in the morning when we talk about it. But for Yapin, I'm feeling like it's going to be up for a maximum of maybe 4 to 6 hours. And we're going to go with the 15 minutes of fame system. Everyone that gets a call in and tap into the stream is going to have 15 minutes on camera to pitch the concept to me. And like Shark Tank, if I want to know more about it, and I decide to hear more, we'll give them up to an hour to discuss it with me, so that if the content is worthy to discuss, I can give them the speed at which to do it, and if it's not, everybody gets 15 minutes to be able to talk about something as we just move through topics and content on air. Because it feels like Sunday is a great way to offload the content that I could have talked about during Monday and Wednesday. So we're getting into a flow of things. And I want to stabilize and ratify how long these things are actually supposed to be. So that if I choose to make banners for the channel that actually promote the content that we're doing regularly, we actually have the ability to do that. So, we will start doing that right now. Right after I get off of the camera, actually. And then we will see you all tomorrow for the movies. And I will see you all again on Monday. Thank you. Have a good night. Remember to spay and neuter your pets, including your trans girls that seem to really, 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 really love being petted. And remember, I will see you all in therapy, and I'm billing you in the funny papers. That's completely backwards. Goodbye, chat. My ankles are killing me.